So I'll start the webinar now and give it just 1 minute or 2 minutes for people to join, and I'll let you know once you are ready to start. I'll give you just a go ahead from our side. So Ms. Anjali, if you are ready to start, please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Anjali Anand Seth, and I am the International Admissions Advisor for South Asia for Huron at Western University. It is a pleasure to be. Huron is, of course, located in the beautiful city of London, and we are a liberal arts university which offers business and liberal arts programs, which you can combine with sciences, thereby providing an education which allows you to explore a very wide range of subjects that will contribute, of course, to your all aspects of your personal as well as professional life. I'm just going to share my screen so that I can share the presentation with you. Yeah. Okay. So generally what we say is that Huron's ethos says that we are leaders with heart. Why do we say that? Because Huron University is committed to developing highly educated students who always choose to act ethically. We want all our students to be successful in their chosen fields, but we also want them to be engaged with empathy, engaged and have empathy as citizens, which are committed to making the world a better place. And of course, that is the reason why we focus on students becoming leaders with heart, which of course is the ethos of Huron. But let me first talk a little bit about why should you be choosing Canada as a country where you wish to study. I'm sure when you're looking at education abroad, there are a lot of countries that come to your mind, whether it is US, Australia, or UK, or even in your home country that you wish to stay back and study there. But why Canada? Canada has been ranked by the United Nations as #1 country for quality of life. So when I say quality of life, I am talking about security and safety also, besides the fact that it is one of the most educated country in the world. Canada is only country in the world which has multiculturalism included in its constitution. So it's a culture that values the heritage that you bring with you, as a result of which you are often addressed not as a Canadian and whatever heritage you have, you're addressed with your heritage first and then it is Canadian. Like, for example, I'm an Indian. They never tell me that I'm an Indian Canadian. They always they never say I'm a Canadian Indian, like when you go to UK It is always that you're a British Indian, whereas I'm always called as an Indian Canadian. So the value that and the respect that they give to your own heritage is becomes very important. Is one of the primary factors for students choosing Canada. But most important of it all, since you are going to be investing huge amount of money in your education, there is always this thing, is my education going to make you employable? Will I be allowed to stay back in the country? So Canada, again, is one of the only countries in the world which has the longest duration of work permits that is provided to students after they complete their education. So if you're doing a 4-year degree program at a university, you will be given a full 3 years of work permit, irrespective of whatever kind of job that you get. And even if you do not get a job, you're still allowed. It's like an open work permit where you can come back, travel to your own hometown, and go back to Canada. And then after you finish or complete 1 year of full-time work experience, you are allowed to apply for your permanent residency, PR as it is often called, or later, of course, even apply for your Canadian citizenship. So that is one of the reasons why Canada has become very welcoming, as we have seen even during COVID times when most of the countries shut their borders for international students. Canada was one of the first countries which allowed students to come back. And Huron, as an institution from where I belong, I do remember that we even had vaccination camps being there on our campus where we helped students get vaccinated for those who could not get it in their home countries. Education in Canada per se is, of course, a public education system. All institutions in Canada are public universities. So you do not find too many private universities. In fact, almost negligible. There are one or few that are there, but primarily all the well-known institutions that you often talk about are all public institutions. That means that the provincial government tends to spend a lot on education, but the entire public system is divided into two. There are colleges which will offer vocational programs and will offer you either certificate programs or diploma programs. One odd would might even offer you a general degree. But universities primarily offer you a 4-year degree program where in a lot of institutions, including Huron, your fourth year becomes your a year wherein you do research. So if you're interested in that, you should apply to university. You should not apply for a certificate or a diploma program. We are located in a city of London, which is about 1.5 hour driving distance from Toronto. Yes, of course, you get the best of both worlds, where not only are you closer to a bigger city, but if you think you want to get away from the maddening crowd, you just have to drive 1.5 hour distance from Toronto, wherein you drive in, and you're again far away from this maddening crowd. But talking about why Ontario becomes one of the most prominent provinces out of the entire Canadian provinces is that while with a population of over 14 million people, Ontario is home to about 1 in 3 Canadians are actually living in Ontario. So it's very safe and welcoming for international students of all the provinces. It is one of the most racially diverse and top destinations for immigration and international students. 46% of all immigrants to Canada actually choose Ontario. In the figures that I have are obviously very old, but it is believed that 48% of Canada's international population is actually located in Ontario. But Ontario is known primarily, like I said, for its education. So out of 66 plus institutions, which are all public institutions, 23 of them are located in the province of Ontario. So since education in Canada falls under the provincial jurisdiction and not federal, the provincial government becomes very important for students. And Ontario receiving the maximum number of students in the country, you can understand that it is a clear indicator of how well the university infrastructure has been established in the province. The biggest advantage, of course, is economy and jobs and the scope of that it provides for students after graduating. The difference between Ontario province and other provinces is pretty significant here also, where Ontario economy alone is contributing for over 40% of Canada's GDP, as well as it being economy-wise, it being the largest in Canada with almost twice the size of the second biggest province, which is Quebec. But more important is that Huron University lies within 2-hour radius of the Canadian's financial engine. So from Bay Street, those who have ever been to Canada would know these names. From Bay Street and between Toronto and London is practically every major Canadian and multinational company has their headquarters located there. So just to give you an example, that 7 of the world's largest vehicle manufacturers operate 14 plants in Ontario, which demonstrate how important manufacturing is in the province. But it's not just about manufacturing. So looking at industries like information and technology, it is also a very growing sector. And what is termed as a technology triangle is Toronto, Ottawa, and Waterloo are being considered now the new Silicon Valley of the world. The area, of course, Ontario province continues to attract very inventive brains from across Canada and the world. Other industries like forestry, journalism, arts, culture, all of them thrive, within this. So Ontario, of course, like I said, then becomes an important place to be. Where are we located? As I mentioned, we are located in a city of London. We are the founding institution. Huron is the founding institution of Western University, and Western University is less than 50 meters away from the Huron campus. Western University has 4 campuses. Huron campus is, of course, the original campus of the founding institution of Western University. The other 2 campuses are King's College as well as Brescia, which is an all-girls institution. So as a Huron student, when you graduate, you do graduate with a Western degree, and all our tuition fee structure as well as degree is the same, irrespective of which campus you're studying in, but the admission process and scholarships are separate. So you can actually diversify your academics, and I'm just going to move to the next slide here, that you can diversify your academics depending on what exactly you're interested in, wherein you have the freedom to choose up to 40% of your classes from across any campus on Western, wherein you're allowed to make your degree interdisciplinary as well as multidisciplinary. At Huron, of course, we specialize in business and social science programs, or liberal education as we call it. What it primarily means is that it gives you the freedom to choose whatever degree that you want to. So you want to combine economics with computer science, you want to combine psychology with biology. Even if you've not studied a subject at your high school level, you can still choose it at the university. And of course, you can access all the facilities, events, clubs, associations across both campuses. But you also enjoy facilities that are exclusive to Huron. So basically, like I said, you are, getting best of both worlds. At Huron, of course, you are not picking a program, but you're picking a faculty. So you either get admission into the Faculty of Management and Organizational Studies, or you're picking up the Faculty of Arts and Social Science, wherein, like I said, you can combine courses of your choice to pursue not just a double major, but also a degree that you think is best suited for your future career. Now, when you are looking at the university, what exactly do you need to consider? The consideration should not be in terms of what university you're going to. It is not about the name of the university. It is more about the experience that you have in your class. Canadian universities, the bigger institutions that we often talk about, have an average of about 200 to 1,000 students in one class. Now, classroom of this kind, and I'm happy to show you a picture here that I have, which is probably a first year math class where you have a minimum of about 200 students, could go up to about 1,000 people, in the same class. But classroom of this kind with the number of students could actually affect your classroom experience, where there is no time for people to ask questions. I wonder how many of us can even raise their hands to even ask questions, in a class like this. So it is mainly where professor is presenting, you have examinations or assignments, which will be multiple choice or maybe short answers, since marking this amount of examination on an essay will take too long. And professors and sometimes even upper year students of the university who become teachers assistant come and teach first year courses. Your opportunities of actually interacting with your professor are minimum, as well as him to recognize you from the rest could also be minimal too. So why would you want to choose a university where you do not get that experience where a professor can actually mentor you? But at Huron, we say 30 is the magic number, as I showed you earlier, because we are a university which is very selective in its admissions with only 1,200 full-time students. Our incoming class is never more than 600 students. But let me assure you that Huron has one of the highest entering admissions averages, which amounts the most elite, which makes us the most elite institution in Canada. An average class size of 30 with a student faculty ratio of 11:1 means that you will receive a one-on-one mentorship from leading academics as well as educators. And all our professors, our PhD professors, is something that I need to reiterate here. But what is it that we bring on the table? So understand this, that as at Huron, because you're not just a student number, we always know you by name. Our professors are personally invested in you. We are able to customize your degree the way you want to. But it is not just about, customizing. It is also about giving you a certain experiential learning experience that you want as a university student. So all our programs have experiential learning inbuilt into the program, where you can travel, you can research, you can volunteer in an international experience. For example, our students taking a course of genocide in political science program will travel to Rwanda, Africa to closely work with the government as well as with UN officials. If you're an econ or a business student, you will get an opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. and learn about American business skills. If you have taken a Chinese business consulting class, you will travel to Shanghai to learn about the Chinese business skills. But that's not just all. And this happens across all programs. That's not just all. We are also home to the Richard Ivey Business School. Now, Richard Ivey Business School is considered as the top business school in Canada and is renowned for graduating some of the world's highly regarded people. At Huron, you can do a dual degree program by combining Huron degree with an honors business administration or the HPA program at Ivey. An Ivey employment report suggests that 96% of Ivey students receive job within 3 months of graduating. And what you see as a figure is the average starting salary of an Ivey graduate. And this is a very public report. You can Google for Ivey employment report that you can see. But it's not just about Ivey. What does Huron bring on the table? Huron is the only university in Ontario and one of the two in Canada to collaborate with Harvard Business School. Harvard saves 20 seats for Huron students every year. So you get an opportunity to do a core program, which has been developed by core program is called Credentials of Readiness Program, which is developed by Harvard faculty members. And these programs are in business analytics, economics for managers, financial accounting. So you don't have to be a business student or necessarily interested in pursuing a business degree to get admitted into the Harvard program. And Harvard's discussion-based courses will enable you to connect with international business executives, which you otherwise may have never met. And this program will not only be beneficial for your learning, but also looks great on your resume because you will get a certificate after you complete the program from Harvard. Moving on, I would, okay, I'm going to just skip these slides here. Sorry about that. We are, again, have the distinction of being the only university in Canada to guarantee every student a paid internship across all our programs. I'm going to repeat that. We guarantee paid internships across all programs. There are 4 different kinds of internships that we offer. Career internship, which are basically paid job opportunities on and off campus, tailored to your personal, professional, future goals. Academic internship for credit paid internships opportunities, which range anything between 4 to 16 months. Research internships, where you get paid to work with the faculty on major research studies, or you get funding of anything between 1,500 to even 6,000 Canadian dollars to research on a topic that you're passionate about. And these opportunities, understand this as a student, are very rare in undergraduate institutions, but it is a common practice at Huron. Now, and the 4th one is the entrepreneurial internship, where students prepare their individual business plan. And if they are approved, they get to run their summer company from May to August. And we not only provide you with an office space, we even provide you with funding there. But Huron is also known for its research. Now, research here, understand this, that Western University is among the U15 universities, which means these are very heavy research intensive universities. And Huron offers what is called the Scholars Elective or the CURL program. CURL is CURL, Center for Undergraduate Research Learning, where you do get the opportunity to not just do research internships, but in your 4th year, if there's any place across the globe where you feel that you need to go and do your research in, we will provide you with the funding. And this is offered in every single program, not just in, often in universities, you'll find them only in STEM programs and not the other programs. So for us, it is always about you. It is about supporting your journey towards your success, ensuring that while you are academically oriented, you are also looking at developing your own personal skills, interpersonal skills through various associations as well as clubs that we have, which is why you will often find our students not just getting into great grad schools, but you will also, if you look at even last 10 years of data that we've collected, we found that 2 out of 3 Huron alumni have reached the highest level of their companies. In fact, we empower our students to lead. So we prepare them for mid-managerial posts rather than entry-level jobs. So data that we collected showed that 85% of Fortune 500 Canadian companies have Huron graduates in leadership positions. And interesting as it might sound, I would like to show you some of the companies and the designations that are held by Huron graduates presently. So the top 3 companies of Canada have Huron graduates in leadership positions or are CEOs. The top 5 law firms of Canada have Huron graduates also. So besides, of course, corporate, head of industry at Google is a Huron graduate. He studied BA Economics. And the CEO of Wealthsimple, which is among the top 100 fintech companies of Canada, studied political science and English at Huron. We have people not just in the corporate sector, we also have people in journalism. We have in the Prime Minister's office. The policy advisor to the Office of Prime Minister was a Huron graduate. We have people working in United Nations. You name it, and probably the joke that goes around is that you will find a Huron graduate in almost every single place. What I want you to understand is that when you're looking at higher education, what will matter is not the name of the university on your degree. What will matter is your student experience. How distinguished were you among the ones that you will be competing for a certain job? What is it that you bring on the table which will matter? So a Huron graduate's CV obviously has more things in terms of not just Harvard Business School certificates, the volunteering that you do, research that you do, experiential learning, but more importantly there, because the fact that we offer not just peer mentorship and alumni mentorship, you also get detailed professors' reference, which you can quote when you are applying for jobs in Canada. What does it take for you to get in? I'm sorry. If you are in the IB curriculum, we do require you to have at least 6 subjects with 3 HL and 3 SL. We do require a minimum of 30 score in your predicted for you to be admissible. If you are following the Cambridge system, then we need 3 distinct A levels and 4 distinct AS levels. Of course, it cannot be below the grade of B. If you're following the national curriculum of India, as in CBSE or ISC, if your school is promoting that, we do require you to have a minimum average of at least 82%. Whether that gets you in is different. And with this 82%, the higher that you go, the better the chances of you getting scholarship. Huron again excels here, where we give huge amount of scholarships and very generous scholarships to the students. Our scholarships, which are automatic, range between 4,000 to 60,000 Canadian dollars over 4 years. When I say automatic, these are given based on your academics, which you submit when you apply. And of course, if you think you are not already receiving the highest amount of $60,000, you may apply for supplement scholarship, for which is on the basis of your co-curricular activities, both inside and outside of your school. But the big one is the International Presidential Scholarship of 100,000 Canadian dollars. It is a competitive scholarship, and we give that only to 10 students across the globe. And the deadline for the International Presidential Scholarship is February 11th this year. So if you are a grade 12 student and you haven't really applied for it and you think you'll qualify, the process is that first you need to apply for Huron admission, and then your school needs to nominate you. So you're most welcome to submit an application for it if your school nominates. And of course, like I said, it's a competitive process. I just want to leave you with a thought here. Often students come to me and parents come to me saying that they want a certain degree, and the child is going to go into that certain degree itself. Great. If you really feel that you want to do engineering, you want to get into medicine and those kinds of degrees, great. But understand this, that the future is all about developing skills that are provided by a student who is maybe coming from a liberal education background. I'd just like to say here that, maybe you don't know, but maybe you do, that the current and former CEOs of many companies hold liberal arts degrees. The CEO of Starbucks, YouTube, Alibaba Group, Facebook, HBO, LinkedIn. I mean, how many should we name? Actually hold a liberal education degree. The reason for that is, and I'm quoting from a Canadian report done by the Royal Bank of Canada, where they did an assessment of 20,000 skills, which said that human skills will matter more than hard skills. So hard skills are those as in your technical skills, but human skills, which we often term as the 21st century skills, or we term them as soft skills. I like to call them endurance skills, especially with this 1.5, 2 years of COVID, how we've all been, relegated to just our homes, and how we have evolved to make better of our situation. It requires you to have critical thinking skills to very complex problems. Are you the kind of a person who will sit and complain about the way things are, or are you going to use that as an opportunity to learn something new? Do you have the power of persuasion, negotiation, empathy, and are you far more culturally aware with an adaptability towards the culture that you're living in, or if you're moving across the globe? Are you able to do that? And as I always say this to students, your grades define you as a good student. Your extracurriculars define you as a person. So go ahead, participate in as many extracurriculars as you can, gain far more experience than just sitting in a class and getting good scores. I'm not saying that good scores are not important. They are equally important, because they're going to get you an education that you or a university that you want to get in. But go out, participate there, and learn better skills, which are what we call as 21st century skills, so that your degree makes you employable far after you have graduated, because you are preparing for lifetime of careers, not just one career for a lifetime, which our parents did, where they retired from there and just settled in one job. I'm going to leave with that thought. Mustafa will be looking into all the student queries that come from the Middle East. But this is my email. If you wish to write to me, I will be happy to forward that to you. Before I end, I would just like to show you the university. Take you on a campus tour if we have another 3 minutes, and I will. Just a minute.
Hi, I'm Serena, your tour guide. It's great to meet you. So you've heard about Huron and want to learn more? Let's take a look around, because you've definitely never seen it like this. Welcome to Huron. Let's get you all moved into residence. Don't worry about lifting those boxes, we've got you covered. You have a team of upper year students called SOFs who volunteer as orientation leaders to get you all settled into residence. And if you flew here from outside of Canada, you didn't worry about getting to campus either, because we picked you up from the airport. Yeah, you get that here. Nice, you got a single room. Most rooms at Huron are like this. And we have some of the biggest residence rooms in Canada. But don't kick your feet up just yet, because it's time for Orientation Week. Western has the #1 biggest orientation week in the country, and Huron students take part in all the fun. Huron students are also Western students, which means clubs, varsity athletics, and campus amenities at Western are shared. At Huron, you always get the best of both worlds, but the Huron advantage is exclusive to you. That was awesome, but now it's time for class. But you never go it alone. At Huron, our culture of care is a huge part of what makes your academic success our priority. At Huron, each and every student receives individualized academic advising, career development advising, learning services, health and wellness support, and international support. Oh, hi Vanessa. And at Huron, you're never just a student number. We always know you by name. At Huron, your average class size is a mere 30 students. That's small. There's no hiding in the back or showing up late. You are an integral part of the lesson and the class discussion. And at Huron, your professor will know you by name straight away. And that's why Huron students receive personalized reference letters, academic mentorship, and support from their profs. It pays to be noticed. Hey, do you have a pen? But it doesn't just happen here. It happens here. Wait, not here. Here, where you'll turn those classroom discussions with your professors into practical application and watch them come to life. The Center for Undergraduate Research Learning is just one of the ways Huron does this for its students. You could also find yourself in a psych lab, in a real business consultation, and in an unforgettable international experience. At Huron, we know it's not just about what you know, but also who you know. That's why our students begin networking with our alumni before they even graduate. We have 9,000 currently connected alumni living in 59 countries worldwide. 2/3 of Huron graduates hold senior level positions in their company. Want to grab coffee with a business owner? Have a Skype interview with an executive director? We're certain we have a graduate working in your desired field who will be happy to mentor you. So, if a personalized approach to an elite education is what you're looking for, then Huron is the place for you.
I can't wait to have you join the Huron community.
Welcome to Huron.
مرحبا بكم في Huron.
Huron में आपका स्वागत है.
Dobrodošli na Huron.
Kazakuri Huron.
Hurona hoş geldin.
欢迎来到修伦。
Chào mừng đến Huron.
Huron में आपका स्वागत है.
Forward to Huron.
Thank you so much for your time. I would love to say
Welcome to Huron. If any one of you decide to choose it as one of your first choices of university, we look forward to welcoming you this September. And as the video said, we do pick up every single international student from Toronto Airport and help you settle down, because we call you at least 1 week prior to the Canadians or the domestic students coming in. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. And I will pass it back to the team.
Thank you very much, Anjali. That was a really interesting and exciting video. Just put it all in a few minutes about how great is the institution and the support that students will get. Just a couple of questions, as we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook. One question is, when is the deadline to apply for next intake?
I'm presuming that the next intake you mean as
September
2022. Okay, we have rolling admissions. I would suggest that if you're looking for high scholarships, such as the International Presidential Scholarship or other scholarships, do apply to Huron before February 11th, because February 11th is a deadline for our major scholarships. Otherwise, you can apply as late as end of March. If we do have place, we will definitely admit you.
Excellent, thank you very much. The other question is, how big is the university? Is it safe for girl students?
The university, as I mentioned, we are, part of Western institution, but Huron campus is, of course, the founding institution, as I mentioned. Overall, throughout the place, you will have a lot of students, because Western University main campus does take in a lot of students. But Huron campus, as I mentioned, we do not have more than 1,200 students in the entire campus, with our incoming cohort being not more than 550 to 600 students. During COVID, that is also one of the reasons why we became one of the most safe campuses, and our COVID plan was one of the first ones to be approved by the Ontario government, because our class sizes being small. And we have a lot of ways in which we ensure Canada per se is a safe country. And we ensure a lot of things for our students. We have a safe walk. If you're studying late at the university, somebody will be there to walk you back to your either residence or even your off-campus accommodation. So it's a pretty safe country, let me assure you of that.
Thank you. Another two questions. One of them is about the scholarship, the international. Is there a specific criteria that you would highlight in order for students to win or to get this scholarship?
The international scholarship, as I mentioned, there are three different kinds. One is the academic scholarship. So international scholarship is under academic scholarship, supplement scholarship, and financial aid, which is still 60,000 Canadian dollars. You don't have to apply for the academic scholarship. If we grant you admission, your admission letter, if you qualify for scholarship, will list the scholarship that they've received. However, if they are not already receiving the highest amount of 60,000 Canadian dollars, they can apply for a supplement scholarship, which is based on their extracurricular activities. Again, it is reviewed until you're able to get the highest $60,000. We also have what is called financial aid, and we are among one of the first universities in Canada to offer financial aid to international students. If you do not receive the $60,000 scholarship based on your academics or your supplement, you can apply for financial aid also. The one which is the International Presidential Scholarship, as I mentioned, is one of the named scholarship and is competitive. We do require your school to nominate you. We do require you to have an IB score of, if you're an IB student, at least a 37, or if you are a Cambridge, you're doing A levels, we require you to have an A or an A star. And if you're following the CBSE curriculum, we require you to have a 90% average or above for you to be eligible to apply for the International Presidential Scholarship. Once that is taken care of and the nomination comes in, you need to write essays that are, of course, what I can do is that I can share the link for all that in the chat box if you want, wherein you apply to the university, you can submit your essays. Those students who are shortlisted will thereafter be called in for an interview round. And the interview, of course, it's not a live interview. You are given a question which you need to submit. The result for that is generally announced either at the end of March or first week of April. I'm just posting the link in the chat box. Maybe the host and the panelists can share it later with the students attending.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. The last question to take here is, can students do double major?
Yes, students can do double major at the university. All students who apply to the university and accept their offer, the academic advisor and the academic team actually starts getting in touch with the students in the month of June. I'm presuming that if you're coming for September every year, that is how the process is. Once you're issued an offer letter, you accept your offer letter and make an admission deposit, which of course ensures that your seat is secured at the university. Thereafter, once you are ready to attend Huron, the academic team, of course, gets in touch with you in the month of June to register you for courses. At that point, if you wish to register for a double major, you're most welcome to let your academic advisor know about this, and she will guide you through it. Math is not a mandatory requirement, excepting for those students coming from IB curriculum. Math is not a mandatory requirement for any of our programs, but your academic advisor will then help you register for the prerequisite courses that you're missing. And if you, at that point in time, are eligible to apply for a double major, sure, you can do that too.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Anjali. That was a very useful information and webinar. I'm sure people maybe will come back with more questions to either ourselves or Mustafa, which we will pass on to him. So thank you once again for being with us here, and wish you a very nice evening, I would say.
Thank you so much again. And thank you for having me. And it was a pleasure being here. I look forward to welcoming some of your students to the Huron campus this September. Thank you so much again.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.